Setting goals gives you direction, but setting systems gives you results. A goal can motivate you once, but a system can move you forward every day. When you rely on goals alone, you depend on outcomes you can't fully control. But when you build a system, you take control of the process and make progress automatic. Goals can leave you stuck in a cycle of starting and stopping. Systems help you stay consistent, focused, and growing, no matter how you feel. Most people chase goals and feel frustrated when they don't reach them. But the real secret to lasting change isn't in what you want to achieve. It's in what you do every single day. Today we'll talk about how you can stop obsessing over outcomes and start creating powerful systems that make success a natural result of your daily life. This isn't just about productivity. This is about building a life that actually works for you. If you're ready to stop chasing goals and start changing your life, then let's dive in. Number 1. Focus on daily actions, not final outcomes. Most people are stuck. Not because they don't have dreams, not because they don't want to be better, richer, stronger, or wiser. Most people are stuck because they spend too much time looking at the finish line and not enough time moving their feet. They're paralyzed by the size of the mountain, while never taking the first step up the hill. You see, it's not the size of your goals that makes the difference in your life. It's the size of your discipline in the little things every single day. People write down their big goals in a journal once a year, tape them to a wall, and wait for something magical to happen. But life doesn't respond to what you hope for. Life responds to what you consistently do. Every day, someone wakes up, makes a promise to themselves. This is the year I'll get in shape. This is the year I'll save more money. This is the year I'll be more focused. They're fired up. They feel good. They imagine what the result will look like. But they never build a system. And that's where the problem begins. They're chasing the final outcome instead of managing the daily actions that actually lead to that outcome. They confuse desire with direction. They think about results when they should be thinking about routines. Goals might excite you, but systems are what change you. And without a system, goals are just ideas. Ideas fade. But a solid system, that reshapes your life. Now here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with having big dreams. But what good is the dream if your daily life looks nothing like the person who achieves that dream? You can't expect the results of a disciplined person while living the life of a distracted one. There's a disconnect. And you feel it. That frustration you carry. That weight. It's not from working too hard. It's from knowing you're capable of more, but not knowing how to break it down into something you can actually live out each day. And that's the key. You've got to stop trying to climb the whole staircase in one leap. Just focus on one solid step. Every single day. You don't need more ambition. You need more alignment. Align your actions with your outcome every day. Let's be real here. Most people don't quit because their goals are impossible. They quit because the way they chase them is unsustainable. They burn out. Why? Because they sprint for a few days, then crash for a few weeks. They live in cycles of motivation and disappointment. But if you build your life around daily actions, small, manageable, non-negotiable actions, suddenly, you don't need to rely on willpower. You've built momentum. And momentum doesn't ask how you feel today. It just keeps going. Because that's what it's trained to do. If you want to write a book, don't focus on finishing the book. Focus on writing a page a day. If you want to get fit, don't focus on losing 30 pounds. Focus on showing up to the gym 4 days a week. No matter what. If you want to grow your business, don't focus on making 6 figures. Focus on contacting 10 people a day. That's how real progress is made. Not in leaps, but in layers. Every day, another layer. Every action, another brick. That's how you build something that lasts. Because when your actions become habits, and your habits become automatic, your life starts to shift. Not in theory, but in reality. When people say they just need more motivation, what they really need is structure. They need to wake up knowing exactly what they're going to do today. Not 10 things, not 20, but 1 or 2 things that are tied directly to who they want to become. That's what a good system does. It removes decision fatigue. It gives you clarity. It puts you in motion. And in motion you find confidence. You don't wait for belief. You build it by doing. Over and over again. Imagine what your life would look like if you stopped measuring success by how far you still have to go, and started measuring it by whether or not you showed up today. Did you follow through on what matters most today? Did you take the action that supports your future today? That's where real self-respect comes from. Not from big achievements, but from being able to look yourself in the mirror and say, I did what I said I would do. That changes a person. That builds pride. That builds identity. Now here's a truth that stings. Most people spend more time planning a vacation than they do planning their days. They treat their time like it's endless. But your time is your life. If you waste today, you've wasted life. So what are you doing with your days? Are they built around action? Or are they just filled with distractions, comfort, and excuses? Because every wasted day is a day you'll eventually regret. But every intentional day, every purposeful action, that's a deposit into your future. You want a better future? Make better use of today. It's that simple. Not easy, but simple. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop thinking you need more time. Start working with what you have, where you are. If you take care of the days, the years take care of themselves. You don't climb the mountain by staring at the summit. You climb it by walking. One foot, then the next. And before you know it, you've covered more ground than you thought possible. Most people are living in a constant loop of delay. They say they'll start tomorrow. Then tomorrow turns into next week. Next week turns into next year. And they never get off the starting line. Because they're stuck waiting for some magical burst of inspiration that never lasts. They don't need more inspiration. They need execution. They need to take one meaningful action today and then repeat it tomorrow. That's the system. That's what works. And here's something else you need to understand. Your life right now is a reflection of your daily actions. Not your thoughts, not your wishes, your actions. What you repeatedly do becomes who you are. If your days are filled with discipline, focus, and movement, you will feel that power. If your days are filled with chaos, distraction, and avoidance, you'll feel stuck. That's not a life problem. That's a system problem. Fix the system, and the results follow. You don't need to see the whole picture. You just need to follow through on what you can do today. That might be making the call, showing up for your workout, putting away the junk food, reading 10 pages, writing 1 paragraph, saving $20, learning 1 new thing. It's not about changing your entire life overnight. It's about doing something today that your future self will thank you for. And if you repeat that day after day, you won't even recognize your life a year from now. Start asking better questions. Not how can I hit my goal, but what should I do today that builds toward it? Not when will I finally be successful, but am I showing up like a successful person would today? Shift your focus from outcomes to ownership, from dreams to decisions, from someday to today. That's where power lives. That's where change begins. And I want you to really hear this. You are not your results. You are your habits. You are your choices. You are your systems. If the outcomes you're chasing aren't showing up, look at your daily actions. Are they aligned? Are they intentional? Are they consistent? You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. So build a system that pulls you forward even when your motivation fades. A system that keeps you anchored when life gets busy. A system that simplifies your day and strengthens your direction. This is how you change your life. Not by dreaming bigger, but by doing better every single day. When you make your daily actions your highest priority, when you build a routine around movement, progress, and purpose, your goals stop feeling like distant wishes. They become inevitable. Because every day you're proving to yourself that you're not just someone who wants change. You're someone who lives it. And that kind of person doesn't wait for life to happen. They create it. One day at a time. One action at a time. One system at a time. You don't need more pressure. You need more process. You don't need more motivation. You need more structure. And the best news? That's something you can build. Starting now. Starting today. Because the future isn't shaped by what you say you'll do. It's shaped by what you actually do. Again. And again. And again. And once that becomes your rhythm, the results won't just show up. They'll stick. Because you earned them. Because you built them. Because you lived them. However, most people try to build habits by forcing themselves to do something uncomfortable without clear strategy. They make huge promises and then break them because their habits aren't rooted in what fits their current life. That's why it's crucial to build habits that support your desired lifestyle. Not habits that feel like a punishment or a burden. The goal is not to add more stress, but to create simple, consistent actions that naturally lead to the results you want. You want to make habits that feel doable, sustainable, and that genuinely improve your day-to-day living. Look at habits like bricks. Each small habit is a brick laid to build your future. One day, those bricks add up to a strong foundation you can stand on. If you skip bricks, if your habits are inconsistent, your foundation will be shaky. But if you lay bricks steadily, with care and focus, eventually you build a house you can live in with confidence. This metaphor isn't about building a house overnight. It's about patient, persistent effort that doesn't rely on luck or bursts of energy. It's the steady drip, not the flood, that shapes your life. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to build too many habits at once. They want to change everything at the same time. Eat healthier, work out daily, save money, read more, wake up early, and the list is endless. The problem is, when you overwhelm yourself, you set yourself up for failure. Habits need time to form. They require repetition and consistency. If you focus on building 1 or 2 habits that support your lifestyle, and you do them consistently, you'll create a solid foundation. Then when those habits feel automatic, you can add more. Building habits that support your lifestyle means you must be honest with yourself about what you can sustain. It's better to commit to a habit you can do every day without fail, even if it feels small, than a grand habit that you do once and quit. For example, reading 1 page a day might sound insignificant. But if you do it daily for a year, that's hundreds of pages read. Exercising for 5 minutes a day is better than nothing, especially if you make it consistent. The key is to create habits that you feel good about doing and that reinforce your vision of yourself. Habits are also emotional. They connect to feelings and rewards. You don't build a habit just by deciding to do it. You build it by associating it with a positive feeling. That's why celebrating small wins is important. When you complete a habit, even if it's small, take a moment to appreciate that accomplishment. This emotional reward creates a loop that makes your brain want to repeat the behavior. Your brain craves progress and positivity, so use that to your advantage. The feeling of satisfaction after finishing a workout or completing a task is fuel for your habits. When you build habits aligned with your values and lifestyle, your daily experience changes. You feel more control. You feel more confident. You feel like you're moving forward instead of spinning your wheels. You stop chasing motivation because your habits carry you even on tough days. The stress decreases because you've designed your life in a way that supports you. Your habits become the foundation for growth, health, and success. They create a ripple effect that touches every part of your life, making improvement feel natural and inevitable. One practical way to build habits is to link them to existing routines. If you brush your teeth every morning, attach a new habit right after that. If you drink coffee every day, use that moment to remind yourself of your habit. Habits are easier to build when they are connected to something you already do regularly. This is called habit stacking, and it takes advantage of your brain's existing patterns to make new behaviors stick. When a habit is anchored in your daily routine, it becomes easier to maintain. Accountability is another tool that helps build habits. When someone else knows what you're trying to do and checks in on your progress, it raises your chances of success. You don't want to let yourself down or disappoint others. So accountability creates a healthy pressure that keeps your habits consistent. Whether it's a friend, coach, or community, having someone to hold you accountable makes a big difference. But accountability without a clear system for habits can lead to frustration. So focus on building simple, realistic habits first. Then bring accountability in to strengthen them. Remember, habits are not about perfection. They are about consistency. You will have off days. You will miss habits. That is normal. What matters is how quickly you return to your habits after a slip. The way you respond to setbacks is what determines if your habits will last. If you give up because of one mistake, you lose the progress you've made. But if you keep showing up, even imperfectly, you build resilience. Habits become part of who you are, and that identity sticks through challenges. It's also important to recognize that habits evolve. As you grow, your habits should change to support your new level of living. A beginner's habit might be simple, like walking 5 minutes a day. As your fitness improves, your habit might evolve into running or strength training. Your habit should grow with you, not stay static. If your habits feel like a prison or something you dread, they're not working. You want habits that energize you, that bring purpose to your day, that feel like a natural expression of your values. Another way habits support your desired lifestyle is by freeing your mind. When good habits run on autopilot, you save mental energy for bigger decisions. This makes your life less stressful and more productive. Instead of deciding each day whether to eat healthy or work out, it becomes automatic. Your brain can focus on creativity, problem solving, or deeper work. Good habits simplify your life and reduce the mental clutter that drains your willpower. When you build habits that align with your goals and values, you're not just changing what you do. You're changing who you are. And this change isn't temporary or superficial. It's deep and lasting. Your habits carve new neural pathways in your brain. They create new patterns of thought and behavior that reinforce your new identity. This means that over time, who you are becomes the person who naturally lives the life you desire, without constant struggle or conflict. Most people underestimate the power of habits because they expect immediate results. They want to feel different right away. But habits are like planting seeds. You water them daily and eventually they grow into something strong and visible. The growth is slow at first, but it's steady and real. And that steady growth leads to transformation that lasts. When you focus on building habits that support your lifestyle, you're investing in your future self every single day. There is no shortcut to this. No hack or trick will replace the power of consistent, well-designed habits. But the good news is that you can start today. You don't have to overhaul your entire life or wait for perfect conditions. Pick one habit that supports your vision. Make it simple and manageable. Attach it to your routine. Reward yourself emotionally for doing it. Be patient and persistent. Over time, that habit will grow into something bigger. Your daily life will change. Your future will change. Building habits is about respect. Respect for yourself, your goals, and your future. When you commit to habits that support your lifestyle, you're saying you believe in your potential. You're saying you're willing to put in the work to become the person who deserves the life you want. Habits are not punishment. They are an act of self-love. They are the daily choices that show you care about your growth and well-being. In the end, the people who succeed are not the ones with the most talent or luck. They are the ones with the best habits. They show up. They do the work. They live by systems that support their vision. And the difference between them and everyone else is the habits they build to support the life they want. Your habits determine your future. So build them with care, intention, and purpose. Next. Number 3. Design a repeatable routine that drives progress. Most people wake up every day with a list of things to do, but end their day wondering why they made so little progress. They feel overwhelmed, distracted, and tired because their day lacks structure that actually moves them forward. This is not a failure of effort, but a failure of design. Life, work, and growth are not about random bursts of energy or motivation. They are about creating a routine that you can return to daily, without excuses, that propels you toward your desired results. The routine is the engine of progress. Without it, your goals remain distant dreams because there is no consistent action fueling them. A repeatable routine is different from a to-do list or a goal. It's not just about what you want to achieve, but about the steps you commit to doing again and again. It's the daily blueprint that supports your future. When you design a routine, you take control of your day. You decide how your time and energy will be used, removing the guesswork and chaos that so often drain your focus. The power lies in repetition. Progress doesn't come from occasional hard work. It comes from consistent, purposeful action. People often struggle because they try to do too many things at once, or they create routines that are unrealistic or complicated. A routine that drives progress is simple, practical, and tailored to your life. It fits your energy levels and respects your limits. If it's too complex, you won't stick to it. If it demands too much time or willpower, you will lose momentum quickly. Progress happens when your routine is sustainable. The goal is not perfection. It is persistence. The first step in designing a routine is clarity. You must know what your priorities are, what truly matters most to your life and growth. This clarity allows you to allocate time and energy to the right tasks every day. When you focus on what matters, your routine becomes a powerful tool rather than a source of stress. You don't get caught in busy work or distractions. You move steadily on the actions that produce results. Your routine should reflect your values, your goals, and your current season of life. A routine that drives progress breaks down your goals into manageable chunks. Instead of overwhelming yourself with the whole mountain, you focus on the small, deliberate steps you can repeat daily. This repetition builds momentum, creating a rhythm to your life. When you repeat these steps consistently, you create habits. Habits then free your mind from making decisions every moment and turn your actions into second nature. This rhythm is the heartbeat of progress. Another essential part of a successful routine is timing. You must find the parts of your day when you have the most energy and focus, and schedule your most important tasks then. Working against your natural rhythm leads to frustration and burnout. For example, if you are sharpest in the morning, reserve that time for your toughest work. If evenings are slower for you, use that time for rest or simpler tasks. Designing your routine around your energy maximizes your productivity and preserves your well-being. Discipline is not about harshness or punishment, but about respect for your routine. When you decide on a routine, you honor your commitment by showing up every day, regardless of how you feel. This consistency builds trust with yourself. You start to believe in your ability to follow through. Each day you complete your routine, you reinforce this belief. Over time, this self-trust becomes a cornerstone of your character. It strengthens your resilience to distractions, doubts, and challenges. Designing a routine also means building in flexibility. Life is unpredictable. Emergencies happen, energy dips, and unexpected events arise. A rigid routine that doesn't account for this leads to frustration and guilt when you miss a step. Your routine should be firm but adaptable. If one part of your routine doesn't work, adjust it. The goal is progress, not perfection. Flexibility allows you to keep moving forward even when circumstances shift. It prevents you from quitting because things didn't go exactly as planned. Incorporating rest and recovery into your routine is crucial. Progress doesn't come from constant grinding. Your body and mind need time to recharge. A well-designed routine balances effort and rest. When you respect this balance, you avoid burnout and maintain consistent progress over the long haul. Pushing yourself without rest might produce short-term gains, but it's unsustainable. Progress built on exhaustion is progress that will collapse. Your routine must honor your need for recovery as much as your need for action. Accountability enhances the effectiveness of your routine. When you share your routine with someone you trust, or when you track your progress openly, you create an external force encouraging you to stay on track. This doesn't mean you need a coach or mentor. Even sharing your routine with a friend or writing it down in a visible place can build commitment. The awareness that others know your plan adds weight to your daily choices and makes it easier to resist distractions and excuses. Designing a repeatable routine also means defining clear start and end points for each task. This keeps your routine focused and prevents tasks from dragging on endlessly. When your actions have clear boundaries, you avoid burnout and maintain high-quality work. It also helps you develop a sense of accomplishment every day. Knowing you completed your routine reinforces your motivation and makes progress tangible. This cycle of completion and reward is vital for sustaining momentum. Mindset is another critical factor. You must see your routine not as a burden, but as an opportunity. It's the path you have chosen to live the life you want. This perspective shifts how you approach each day. Instead of asking if you feel like doing your routine, you accept that this is the way forward. You realize that each repetition is a step closer to your goals. This mindset creates purpose and fuels your commitment. Routine creates a structure that removes the friction of decision-making. Every day you face countless choices, and decision fatigue can drain your willpower. When you have a clear routine, Many decisions are already made for you. You don't waste energy on whether to start or what to do next. Your routine acts as a guide, leading you automatically to your most important actions. This frees your mental space for creativity, problem solving, and growth. Tracking your progress within your routine is essential. Progress is motivating. And when you see how far you've come, it becomes easier to keep going. Use simple tools like checklists or journals to record your routine's completion. This feedback loop encourages you to keep your commitment. It also helps you identify what's working and what needs adjustment. When you track progress, your routine becomes a living system that evolves with you. Your environment plays a big role in supporting or sabotaging your routine. Design your physical and mental space to encourage the actions you want to take. This might mean setting up your workspace, limiting distractions, or preparing materials ahead of time. A well-designed environment makes it easier to follow your routine without resistance. It reduces the chance that you will give in to old habits or distractions. Your surroundings should be a silent partner in your routine's success. Some routines include rituals, small actions that prepare you for the work ahead. These rituals can be as simple as making a cup of coffee before starting, stretching before writing, or reviewing your plan for the day. Rituals signal to your brain that it's time to focus and help transition you into your routine smoothly. They make your routine feel intentional and special rather than a mechanical checklist. One of the most powerful aspects of a routine is that it builds confidence. When you complete your routine day after day, you prove to yourself that you can follow through. This confidence spills over into other areas of your life. You start believing in your ability to achieve bigger goals because you have mastered the small, consistent steps that lead there. Confidence built through routine is unshakable because it is based on real action, not empty hope. A repeatable routine also protects you from distractions and procrastination. When you know exactly what you need to do and when, it becomes harder to justify putting things off. Your routine creates a framework that guides your focus. It anchors your day so that even when outside distractions come, you have a clear path to return to. Over time, this clarity strengthens your discipline and reduces mental chaos. Sometimes designing a routine means learning to say no. Not every task deserves your time or energy. A routine focused on progress helps you prioritize what truly moves you forward. It frees you from the pressure to do everything or please everyone. When you have a routine that reflects your values and goals, you naturally say no to distractions and unnecessary demands. This creates more space for what matters most. Routine builds momentum. Each day you follow your routine, you add a bit more energy to your progress. like pushing a heavy object. The first steps are the hardest. But once momentum builds, it becomes easier to keep moving. Momentum from your routine carries you through tough days, obstacles, and moments of doubt. It becomes your lifeline to progress when motivation fades. Routine also provides a sense of security in a chaotic world. When everything around you feels uncertain, having a daily structure gives you control. It grounds you in purpose and direction. This security reduces anxiety and helps you stay calm under pressure. Your routine becomes a refuge, a dependable part of your life that you can count on regardless of external circumstances. Creating a repeatable routine is an act of self-respect. It says you value your time, your goals, and yourself enough to design your life with intention. It acknowledges that growth is a process requiring consistent effort, not random bursts. Your routine is your commitment to the future you want. Every time you complete it, you honor that commitment. Routines also serve as the foundation for bigger systems. Once you master a daily routine, you can build on it with more complex systems that handle larger projects and long-term goals. Without a solid routine, systems fall apart because the daily actions aren't reliable. The routine is the bedrock on which lasting success is built. To create your routine, start small but think big. Choose a few key actions that will drive progress toward your most important goals. Make them easy to repeat. Schedule them at the right times. Prepare your environment to support them. Track your progress. Adjust when necessary. Keep showing up even when it's hard. Over time, your routine will transform from a list of tasks into a way of life that produces steady, meaningful progress. This routine doesn't depend on inspiration or motivation. It relies on commitment and design. It allows you to keep moving forward on your best days and your hardest days. This is the secret to making real progress that lasts. A routine designed with care and purpose changes everything. It is the system that guides your daily direction, turning your efforts into growth, your intentions into reality. This method also allows you to customize your approach over time. By analyzing your process, you discover what fits your unique rhythm, strengths, and challenges. You can tailor your routine, environment, and strategies to fit your personal style. This customization increases your chances of sticking to your system and achieving lasting change. Finally, tracking your process is about embracing the journey. Success is not just the destination, it's the daily commitment to becoming better. When you honor your process, you honor yourself. You recognize that each small step is a building block of a new life. This shift in perspective turns progress from a distant dream into a living reality you create every day. Tracking your process isn't just a tool. It's a mindset that transforms how you live, work, and grow. It's important to recognize that systems based on values are not rigid rules, but flexible frameworks. Life changes, and your understanding of your values may deepen or evolve. Your system should adapt with you. The key is to remain connected to your core principles, even as you adjust methods and habits. This flexibility keeps your system sustainable and responsive to real-life demands without losing sight of what matters most. Creating these systems also improves your relationships. When you act consistently according to your values, others notice and respect your integrity. It builds trust because people see you're reliable and authentic. Your relationships become stronger because they're built on honesty and shared principles rather than convenience or surface-level interaction. This foundation enriches your life far beyond any material achievement. This approach to systems also enhances your self-esteem. When you live in alignment with your values, you feel good about yourself. There's no internal conflict or guilt because your actions match your beliefs. This alignment produces inner peace and confidence. You stop battling self-doubt or trying to fit into molds that don't suit you. You know who you are and what you stand for. Systems built around values make it easier to handle setbacks and failures. When things don't go as planned, your values remind you why you started and what truly matters. This perspective softens the blow of disappointment and keeps you moving forward. You see mistakes as temporary obstacles, not reflections of your worth or ability. This resilience comes from the strength of living by your values, not from external achievements. One practical way to create such systems is to translate each value into specific, actionable behaviors. For example, if generosity is a key value, your system might include weekly acts of kindness or volunteering. If learning is important, schedule regular time for reading or skill development. These actions become habits that make your values tangible and part of your everyday life. Over time, these small, consistent behaviors build a powerful system that shapes your identity and future. It's also helpful to review your systems regularly to ensure they still reflect your values. Life's pace can pull you off track, and distractions can creep in. Set aside time weekly or monthly to check in with yourself. Ask if your current routines honor your values, and if you need to adjust anything. This habit of reflection keeps your systems alive and aligned with your evolving self. Creating systems around values is not about perfection. It's about intention and progress. You won't always get it right, and that's okay. The important thing is to keep returning to your values and letting them guide your actions. Each day offers a new chance to align your system with what truly matters. This ongoing process builds a life that feels meaningful, authentic, and deeply satisfying. When values lead your systems, you develop a powerful form of motivation that doesn't fade with time or circumstances. It's a motivation that comes from within, fueled by the desire to live according to your true self. This motivation sustains you through challenges and keeps your focus sharp even when distractions are everywhere. It turns effort into fulfillment. Systems rooted in your values also inspire others. When people see you living with integrity and purpose, it encourages them to examine their own lives. Your example becomes a quiet form of leadership. You don't need to preach or push. Simply living your values openly invites others to do the same. This impact can ripple far beyond your own life, creating positive change in your community. It's crucial to understand that values-based systems are more than just tools for success. They are a framework for happiness and well-being. Many chase external markers of success only to find them hollow. But when your systems flow from your values, your achievements come with deeper satisfaction. You build a life where success and happiness coexist because they are both rooted in the same foundation. Creating systems around your values also means embracing patience. Building meaningful habits and routines takes time. The results you want won't appear overnight. But when your actions are tied to values, you don't lose heart because your focus is on steady, purposeful progress. This patience keeps you steady when immediate rewards are absent. It creates a lasting change that withstands life's ups and downs. It's common to underestimate how powerful this alignment can be. Many believe that success comes from just working harder or smarter. But without aligning your efforts with your values, work can feel hollow and exhausting. Systems built on values bring joy and energy to your daily efforts. They create a sense of meaning that makes hard work feel worthwhile. One more thing to recognize is how creating systems around your values reduces stress. When your daily routine reflects your deepest beliefs, you stop wasting energy on things that don't serve you. You feel less conflicted and more in control. This mental clarity leads to better health and emotional balance. Your life feels simpler and more manageable. Finally, these systems create a legacy. When you live by your values consistently, you leave an impression on the world that lasts. Your work, relationships, and actions reflect something real and true. This legacy is more powerful than any temporary success because it comes from who you are at the core. Creating systems around your values isn't just about your life today. It's about the impact you leave behind. This is why the greatest leaders, thinkers, and achievers always return to their values. They understand that systems disconnected from values are fragile. But when you ground your habits and routines in what you believe, you build strength that lasts. You create a life of purpose, peace, and power. One day, one choice, one action at a time. Number 6. Make consistency your highest personal standard. Most people start something with great excitement, only to find their energy fading and motivation slipping away. The reality is, the biggest struggle is not beginning. It's keeping going. This isn't about luck or talent. It's about consistency. The people who change their lives don't rely on sudden bursts of effort or moments of inspiration. They build a steady, unshakable commitment to show up day after day, no matter what. Consistency is the real game changer. It's the foundation for lasting success, and making it your highest personal standard will change everything. Too often people treat consistency like a vague idea or an optional habit. They say, "I'll try to be consistent," but then life happens. Distractions, doubts, setbacks, and suddenly that commitment disappears. The truth is, consistency isn't something you try. It's a non-negotiable rule you live by. It's a standard you hold yourself to, just like brushing your teeth or eating meals every day. When consistency becomes part of your identity, it stops being a chore and becomes an automatic way of life. When consistency is your highest standard, you stop wasting energy on decisions about whether or not to do something. It removes the daily debate inside your mind. You don't have to wonder if today's the day to skip your workout, write a page, or make that phone call. The answer is always the same. You show up. This mindset saves your mental energy for what matters most, instead of fighting an internal battle every day. Consistency simplifies life because it replaces uncertainty with dependable action. This approach also builds momentum. Small, repeated actions may seem insignificant at the moment, but over time they compound into extraordinary results. That's the power of consistency. It turns simple habits into massive change. Without it, progress is random and unpredictable. With it, progress becomes reliable and unstoppable. The difference between failure and success often comes down to who can stick with the process longer. Most people underestimate how much their personal standards impact their outcomes. Standards set the tone for every decision you make. If your standard is, "I'll do this when I feel like it," then your results will fluctuate wildly. If your standard is, "I do this because it's important, no matter how I feel," then you create stability in your life. The standard you hold determines the habits you build, and those habits shape your future. It's natural to resist consistency because it requires discipline and effort over the long haul. Instant gratification pulls us in the opposite direction. But discipline doesn't mean harshness or punishment. It's about respect. Respect for yourself, your goals, and the life you want to create. When you make consistency your highest standard, you treat your dreams with respect by showing up every day to nurture them. Consistency also cultivates trust within yourself. When you do what you say you'll do, your confidence grows. You prove to yourself that you are reliable, capable, and committed. This internal trust spills over into other areas of life, relationships, work, personal growth. You become someone others can count on because you first become someone who counts on themselves. This trust becomes a foundation for courage and resilience. One of the biggest challenges with consistency is the inevitable days when you don't feel motivated or inspired. Those days test your commitment. If you rely solely on motivation, you will give up when motivation fades. But if consistency is your standard, you push through those tough moments. You don't wait to feel like it. You act because it's your rule. This is where true growth happens, in the struggle to keep going even when the excitement is gone. Building consistency requires clear systems and routines that support it. When you design your day so that positive habits are easy and automatic, sticking to your standard becomes more realistic. For example, if your goal is to read more, create a system where a book is always within reach. Set a specific time to read daily, and eliminate distractions during that time. These practical steps remove barriers and make consistency less about willpower and more about environment. It's important to celebrate progress without letting small setbacks derail you. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. There will be days when life interferes and you miss your routine. The key is to return quickly and without guilt. A consistent person doesn't quit because of one off day. They get back on track because their standard is unbreakable. This mindset removes the all-or-nothing thinking that causes many to give up entirely after a single slip. Consistency also creates clarity in your identity. Over time, the repeated actions you take shape how you see yourself. When you consistently practice a skill or habit, it becomes part of your character. You start to think of yourself as a healthy person, a productive worker, or a disciplined learner, because your actions confirm those identities. This identity reinforcement makes it easier to maintain consistency, because you want your actions to match who you believe you are. The power of consistency extends beyond personal goals. It influences every relationship and responsibility. When you consistently show up for others, it builds trust and deepens connections. When you consistently meet your obligations, you gain respect and open new opportunities. Consistency isn't just about achieving success. It's about living with integrity and reliability. It transforms your reputation and the quality of your life. Many people give up too soon because they expect quick results. They start strong but lose steam when the outcome doesn't appear immediately. Consistency requires patience and faith in the process. It demands that you trust the small actions even when they seem insignificant. Over time, those small actions stack up and produce breakthroughs that feel almost magical. But none of that happens without steadfast commitment day after day. Consistency is also a guardrail against distractions and temptation. In a world filled with noise, options, and interruptions, it's easy to get pulled away from your priorities. When you hold consistency as a personal standard, you develop resistance to distractions. You learn to say no to things that don't support your goals because you respect the commitment you've made to yourself. This clarity frees you to focus on what truly matters. To build consistency, it's useful to track your habits and progress. Recording what you do each day creates accountability and visibility. It helps you see patterns in areas where you might be slipping. This awareness allows you to adjust your systems before small inconsistencies become big problems. It also fuels motivation, because seeing progress builds momentum and pride. Consistency also strengthens your self-discipline muscle. Like any muscle, discipline gets stronger the more you use it. The habit of following through creates a feedback loop of positive reinforcement. Each successful day builds your ability to resist temptation the next. This growing discipline helps you handle all kinds of challenges beyond the original goal, because it becomes part of how you operate. One overlooked aspect of consistency is the emotional stability it brings. When your daily actions align with your commitments, your mind feels less chaotic. You experience less guilt, anxiety, and self-criticism, because you know you are doing what you promised yourself. This peace of mind is a powerful motivator and a foundation for deeper happiness and mental strength. It's also essential to understand that consistency doesn't require giant efforts every day. Small, deliberate steps often work better than infrequent big pushes. The goal is not perfection, but regularity. A small habit done consistently beats occasional bursts of extreme effort every time. This approach is kinder and more sustainable, reducing burnout and frustration. Making consistency your highest personal standard means holding yourself accountable without harsh judgment. It means forgiving yourself for mistakes, but never losing sight of your commitment. It means understanding that life will challenge you, but your commitment to showing up remains firm. This mindset is a source of power and freedom because it puts you in control of your progress. The people who live extraordinary lives are often the ones who simply refuse to quit. They don't wait for motivation or ideal conditions. They develop a routine so ingrained that it becomes part of their identity. They show up day after day, trusting that this consistency will shape their future. This is the secret to transformation. Persistence fueled by unwavering standards. Consistency also brings clarity about what's really important. When you commit to showing up every day for a goal, you inevitably learn to prioritize and eliminate distractions. This focused energy creates quality results and deep satisfaction. You start to see where to invest your time and where to say no. This clarity helps you work smarter and live better. The power of consistency extends beyond individual success. It influences your community and the people around you. When others see your steady commitment, they feel inspired and encouraged. Your consistency becomes a beacon of reliability in a world of unpredictability. This influence can ripple through families, workplaces, and friendships, creating a culture of commitment and excellence. In the end, making consistency your highest personal standard is a choice. It's a decision to honor your goals and respect your potential. It's a commitment to keep moving forward no matter what. This choice requires courage, patience, and faith in yourself. But the rewards are immense. A life built on steady progress, strong character, and lasting achievement. Consistency is not glamorous or flashy, but it is powerful beyond measure. It is the daily practice of showing up and doing the work when no one is watching. It is the quiet force that shapes dreams into realities. When you make consistency your highest standard, you stop relying on chance and start creating your future with intention and confidence. This standard will change your life more than any goal ever could. Another layer of environment to consider is mental and emotional space. Just as physical clutter can be distracting, mental clutter can sap energy and focus. Creating mental space through practices like journaling, meditation, or planning can clear your mind and prepare you for productive work. An optimized environment supports not only your body but also your mind, making it easier to stay aligned with your system. The power of environment also extends to emotional triggers. If certain places or objects are associated with negative feelings or bad habits, addressing those associations can help break cycles. Changing your environment might mean replacing old routines with new ones, or physically removing reminders of past failures. This creates a fresh start and opens space for positive habits to take root. In essence, optimizing your environment is about taking control of the factors that influence your behavior every day. It's a strategic move that puts you in the driver's seat instead of letting circumstances dictate your actions. When your environment supports your goals, it reduces stress, increases motivation, and makes good habits easier to maintain. This isn't about perfection or creating an unrealistic setting. It's about practical, realistic changes that fit your life and make progress easier. Every small adjustment counts. Over time, these changes accumulate, creating a powerful system where success is the natural result. By focusing on environment optimization, you reduce the friction between intention and action. The less effort it takes to do the right thing, the more likely you are to do it consistently. This is the core of setting systems instead of goals, building an automatic framework that supports you without constant struggle. When your environment is designed to help, you begin to act without thinking, and your actions align effortlessly with your values and desires. This shift from forced effort to automatic behavior frees up energy for growth, creativity, and joy. It makes the journey sustainable and even enjoyable. Optimizing your environment is a daily practice, not a one-time fix. It requires attention, adjustment, and honesty about what is working and what isn't. As your goals evolve, so should your surroundings. The system you build around your environment grows stronger and more tailored, making success not just possible, but inevitable. Your environment can be your greatest ally or your biggest obstacle. Choosing to optimize it means choosing to work with yourself, not against yourself. It means setting up a life where good decisions happen naturally, where your best habits become effortless, and where your progress is built into the very fabric of your daily experience. This is the power of environment optimization, a system that changes your life by making success the easiest choice every day. The journey toward a new identity isn't linear. You will face setbacks, doubts, and moments of resistance. The system supports you by creating habits that are bigger than your feelings in any moment. When you rely on identity rather than motivation, you create stability through ups and downs. This resilience is the secret to long-term success. Setting identity-based systems requires patience. Change happens over months and years, not days. But every small choice builds momentum. When you view identity as a process rather than a destination, you embrace continuous growth. This mindset opens the door to ongoing improvement and a fulfilling life. In the end, shifting your self-image through identity-based systems is the most powerful way to change your life. It moves beyond chasing temporary results to creating lasting transformation. When you live as the person you want to be, your daily actions flow naturally. Consistency becomes effortless, and progress feels inevitable. This is the real power of a system designed around identity. It changes not just what you do, but who you are. It's essential to celebrate small wins along the way. Clear action plans break big goals into milestones, each worth recognizing. Celebrations fuel motivation and reinforce the system you've created. Recognizing progress, no matter how small, builds confidence and commitment. It reminds you that the journey is as important as the destination. The clarity of action plans also helps when setbacks occur. Life doesn't always cooperate, and challenges can throw you off course. But with a clear plan, you can identify exactly where you need to adjust. You don't lose sight of your direction because your plan serves as a compass. It helps you find new paths when the old ones are blocked. This resilience is crucial for long-term success. Clear action plans reduce the chance of quitting out of frustration or doubt. When your goals are wishful thinking, obstacles feel like signs to give up. But when you have a solid plan, obstacles become problems to solve, not reasons to quit. You approach challenges with confidence because your system supports continuous progress, even if it's slow. It's important to be honest when creating your plan. Avoid overestimating what you can do or underestimating obstacles. Realistic plans set you up for success by acknowledging your limits and resources. They include buffer time for setbacks and self-care. This practical approach prevents burnout and keeps your system sustainable. Visualizing your action plan can strengthen commitment. Writing down your steps, creating charts, or using apps turns your plan from an idea into a tangible tool. This visibility makes it easier to track progress and stay motivated. It also creates a sense of ownership when you see your plan every day. It becomes part of your identity. One of the biggest advantages of replacing wishful goals with clear action plans is that it builds momentum. Momentum is the force that keeps you moving forward, even when motivation is low. Each completed step fuels the next, creating a chain reaction of progress. Clear plans provide the structure needed to build this unstoppable momentum. In the end, clear action plans are the bridge between dreams and reality. They take the energy of your desires and channel it into purposeful, manageable actions. Without them, goals remain hopes that never materialize. With them, you create a system that guides your every move toward success. This is how lasting change happens. Not by hoping for the best, but by planning for the best and doing what it takes every day. Replacing wishful goals with clear action plans isn't just about working harder. It's about working smarter with intention and focus. It's about moving away from scattered efforts toward a disciplined approach that brings results. It's about stepping out of uncertainty and into clarity. When your actions are guided by a clear plan, your path becomes visible. Your confidence grows, and your success becomes inevitable. Another powerful strategy is accountability. Sharing your goals and deadlines with others creates social pressure to follow through. Knowing someone else is watching makes it harder to procrastinate and easier to stay disciplined. Accountability partners, coaches, or groups focused on productivity provide support, encouragement, and sometimes much-needed tough love. Discipline also demands a clear purpose. When your why is deeply compelling, it fuels your commitment even when the task is tough or boring. This purpose acts as a mental anchor, reminding you of the bigger picture behind every small action. Without a meaningful why, discipline becomes mechanical and easy to abandon at the first sign of discomfort. When you face setbacks, mental discipline keeps you in the game. It helps you resist giving up after failure or distraction. Instead of spiraling into guilt or avoidance, discipline pushes you to restart quickly and adjust your approach. This resilience is the foundation of long-term success, turning temporary defeats into learning opportunities. Mental discipline also requires setting boundaries. Saying no to distractions, toxic people, or tempting shortcuts protects your focus. Boundaries create a safe mental space where discipline can thrive. Without them, your attention is fragmented, and procrastination gains ground. Learning to enforce these boundaries is a crucial skill in the discipline arsenal. Technology is a double-edged sword in this fight. While it offers tools for focus and organization, it's also the biggest source of distraction. Mental discipline involves mastering technology, using apps that block distractions, scheduling focused work sessions, and avoiding multitasking traps. This mastery turns technology from a procrastination enabler into a productivity ally. Visualizing success and the feeling of accomplishment can strengthen your mental resolve. When you vividly imagine completing a task or reaching a goal, your brain prepares emotionally and cognitively to follow through. This mental rehearsal reduces anxiety and increases motivation. It turns abstract goals into concrete experiences, making discipline easier to sustain. Importantly, mental discipline doesn't mean harsh self-punishment or rigidity. It involves compassion and understanding that some days will be harder than others. Allowing space for rest and recovery without guilt creates a sustainable approach. Discipline built on kindness is more resilient and prevents burnout. In the final analysis, overcoming procrastination is less about defeating an enemy and more about building a partnership with yourself. Mental discipline is the language of that partnership. It's how you keep promises to yourself, stay accountable to your goals, and create a life of intentional action. This discipline turns your intentions into reality, transforms overwhelm into clarity, and shifts you from a passive dreamer into an active creator of your future. The journey to mental discipline is challenging, but it's the most powerful investment you can make in your success and well-being. Every time you choose to act despite resistance, you grow stronger. You prove to yourself that you are capable of more than excuses and delays. The payoff is not just in what you accomplish, but in the confidence, control, and freedom you gain over your own mind. When mental discipline becomes your default, procrastination loses its power, and your potential becomes unstoppable. Number 11. Measure success by effort, not end results. Success is often seen as the finish line. Whether that's the number in your bank account, a promotion, or some big achievement that everyone notices. But reality checks in hard. Not every effort leads to the outcome you want right away. In fact, sometimes your best efforts don't show up as clear wins, and that can be crushing. The truth many people miss is this: success isn't just about the outcome. Real lasting success comes from valuing the effort you put in every single day. When you shift your focus to how hard you work, how consistent you are, and how you push yourself, you build a foundation that no failure or setback can shake. It's painful when you do everything right and the results don't match. It makes you question yourself, feel frustrated, and sometimes even give up. But here's what needs to be understood. Results are influenced by things outside your control. Timing, luck, other people's decisions, market conditions. These things play a role you can't always predict. That's why measuring success by effort is powerful. You take control of what you can control. You own your commitment, your discipline, and your focus. And when you measure yourself by the effort, you stay motivated to keep going no matter what. Effort is something real. You can see it, feel it in your muscles, hear it in your breath, taste it in the sweat. It's a physical and mental commitment. When you give your best, regardless of outcome, you train yourself to be dependable and resilient. This creates a deep sense of pride because you know you gave everything you had. That pride is what fuels momentum. It's not a random burst of motivation. It's a steady fire that builds with every action you take. It's also important to recognize how measuring effort changes your mindset. Instead of obsessing over numbers or final results, you start focusing on the process, the daily steps that move you forward. This mindset protects your confidence, because you're not at the mercy of external validation. You're your own judge. You decide when you've done enough, when you've pushed your limits, and when you've stayed true to your values. That's empowerment. And it transforms your relationship with work and progress. When you set systems instead of just chasing goals, effort becomes the natural benchmark. Your system is what you do every day, regardless of whether the results are visible yet. It might be writing a page, making a sales call, or practicing a skill. If you only measure success by the end result, you'll often feel like you're losing. But if you measure success by the effort you pour in, every day is a win. You start building habits that become automatic, which means you're working smarter, not harder. You're not just waiting for a big payoff. You're winning in real time. This way of thinking also makes setbacks less painful. If you judge success by effort, a failure is not a final verdict. It's just a sign that you need to adjust your approach. You can still feel good knowing you gave it your all. And that feeling motivates you to get back up, try again, and improve. It keeps you from spiraling into self-doubt or discouragement. When you focus on effort, mistakes become lessons, not reasons to quit. Effort also connects deeply with your emotions. When you put in the hard work, it builds self-respect. That respect shapes how you see yourself and influences how others see you. People notice consistency and dedication. They don't just admire winners. They admire those who refuse to give up. And that admiration builds confidence and opens doors to opportunities you couldn't have imagined when you were focused only on the final result. Another critical aspect is that measuring success by effort fosters patience. Big goals take time. Instant results are rare. But when you appreciate the effort, You learn to trust the process. You become comfortable with slow progress and understand that each small action is a brick in the foundation of your future success. This patience is crucial because it helps you stay steady even when the world seems to move too fast or when distractions threaten to pull you away. It's also worth noting how this approach affects your well-being. Chasing outcomes only can cause stress, anxiety, and burnout because you put all your happiness on a future event. But valuing effort means you find fulfillment in the present moment. You feel good about what you're doing right now. That feeling reduces stress and gives you energy. It creates a healthier relationship with work and success, where you're motivated by progress and growth, not by pressure or fear. Effort is the ultimate equalizer. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or what resources you have. Everyone has the ability to try harder, to push a little more, and to stay committed a little longer. Measuring success by effort puts the power back in your hands. It levels the playing field and allows you to compete on your terms. When you do this, you build an unshakable foundation that results will eventually follow because you've built a system of persistent action. It's important to make this shift now because if you keep measuring success only by end results, you risk feeling defeated and giving up early. That's where so many people get stuck in the trap of comparing themselves to others who seem to be winning and feeling like failures when they aren't. But effort is personal. You don't have to compare your effort to anyone else's. Your daily commitment is your measure, and it's enough. Effort also teaches you valuable skills beyond the goal itself. When you commit fully, you learn discipline, resilience, time management, and focus. These skills become part of who you are. They stay with you no matter what happens with the results. That's true success. A transformed person who can handle any challenge. When you focus on effort, your self-talk changes. Instead of saying, "I failed because I didn't get that promotion," or "I'm not good enough because the sales didn't come through," you say, "I did my best today," or "I stayed consistent all week." This positive reinforcement keeps your motivation alive and your confidence intact. It's a healthier way to think that supports long-term growth. It also helps you deal with fear. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of not being good enough. All of these can stop you dead in your tracks. But when you measure success by effort, fear loses power because you know that giving your best is a victory in itself. You're no longer terrified of the outcome. You're focused on your contribution. That mindset frees you to take risks and move forward boldly. Another powerful aspect is how measuring success by effort builds momentum. Small wins add up. When you commit to consistent effort, you create a rhythm and flow. That rhythm makes it easier to keep going. Effort becomes a habit rather than a chore. You start to crave the feeling of accomplishment that comes with daily progress. Momentum creates a positive cycle where action leads to motivation, which leads to more action. It's also important to celebrate your effort. Recognize the work you put in, the sacrifices you made, and the obstacles you overcame. This acknowledgement fuels your drive and builds your self-worth. Celebrating effort keeps your spirits high and your mindset positive. It shifts your energy from scarcity and lack to abundance and possibility. Measuring success by effort also prepares you for bigger challenges. Life will throw curveballs. Sometimes results will be disappointing. But if you've built your identity around effort, you'll have the strength to persevere. You won't lose yourself when things get tough. Instead, you'll lean into your commitment and keep going. That resilience is what separates those who succeed over the long haul from those who give up early. Finally, focusing on effort changes how you define your life story. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances or bad luck, you see yourself as someone who takes action, who doesn't quit, who learns and grows. That story becomes your reality. It shapes how you approach every task and every challenge. It gives your life purpose and direction beyond just hitting milestones. Measuring success by effort is a life-changing perspective. It frees you from the pressure of results you can't always control. It grounds you in the power of what you can do every day. It builds your confidence, resilience, and patience. It creates a system of daily action that over time will produce the results you desire naturally and effortlessly. When you stop chasing results and start chasing effort, you start winning immediately, no matter what happens next. It's essential to recognize that the path to effortlessness isn't linear. You will have days when everything feels easy, and days when it feels hard again. The difference is that with a well-adjusted system, the hard days don't stop you. You bounce back quickly because your system is strong enough to carry you through temporary challenges. The system becomes a safety net that catches you when you stumble. One of the most powerful reasons to adjust your system until it feels effortless is that it builds confidence. When you stop fighting yourself and start cooperating with your natural strengths and rhythms, you trust yourself more. You know that you have a way of working that can handle whatever life throws at you. That trust in yourself is a powerful motivator that helps you keep going, when things get tough. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that success requires constant sacrifice and struggle.